on YouTube? Welcome to We Sibs, West Coast, East Coast siblings. We are celebrating the end of The Warrior Nun first season with episode 10 tonight. We got Jay from the La Quente Ledger coming over to discuss
What's going on, guys?
episode 10. So we're going to talk about the three biggest takeaways from the episode and then kind of just unwrap everything, our reactions to the season as a whole. But before we get started, be sure to hit the subscribe button for both channels, the La Quente Ledger and We Sibs, and click that bell so you don't miss a single episode as we cover your favorite movies and TV shows. Let's get into it. So starting right off with big takeaway number one, guys, the big reveal that Adriel, who's been in the tomb for 1,000 years, is not an angel, but he is indeed, not just a demon, but he is indeed Satan himself, who has been that anchor for the demonic forces.
It made so much sense that by the end of this season that it was Satan that was locked into this little tomb in this chamber, because that is the segue for how the demons and these wraiths and everything was still tied to this world. It made so much more sense that now there was a reason why it just wasn't eliminated from the existence of the world through all these halo bearers. There was some connection that they had, and they thought it was because of the bones, but now we know it wasn't that.
Slight segue off of that, I wonder, because when Satan encountered Lilith, he said, "What are you?" But see, someone on the other side in hell had to have manufactured Lilith not only dying and coming over there, but they had to have experimented on her to make her this demon hybrid and then send her back through. Whose idea was that? Is there someone else on the other side that's working us apart from Satan? Like, that seems really interesting because she came from hell and he didn't know who she was or what she was.
Perhaps the devil may not have had anything to do with it. It may have been kind of that Joker falling into a vat of toxic waste. Just maybe by the fact of her being in hell, it changed her properties. She might have found a way back, a portal back, if it changed her properties and her ability to travel. When she was at Arctech, nobody was sending her back and forth. She was doing it of her own volition, which is why we talked about in the last episode, her possibly being some kind of human-demon hybrid.
It is a very interesting point that it does kind of seem manufactured. It does seem as if there was some sort of splicing of the genes. That also leads into the idea that there could be more. And we know that the season ended on a cliffhanger, spoiler warning, but there's going to be more. So I think that is really just a small piece of what we're going to get from season 2.
Yeah, I agree. And even if you look at Shannon, we still don't know really where she is or if she's alive or if the same type of thing happened with her. So definitely I think there's something to be said that the two nuns that we've seen die in this show have all been, their bodies have been taken or somehow captured and transferred.
Yeah, and I think it was really key too when, I can't remember if it was Beatrice or who said that Adriel was a thief. Like Christopher and I were talking right at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
She said, "I know what you are, a thief." And I think that's a huge point because we didn't really know how he got the halo. But if he stole that halo from an angel, it makes sense why he was running.
Yep.
Why whatever these other things were chasing him at the end of this episode. And then why they locked him in a cage on Earth.
Yeah. And I think everybody is familiar with the, devil trapped for 1,000 years type of thing. So that was easy for people to swallow. But it does make sense, and it makes you curious what machine or robot type thing that we had been told was a demon was chasing him to get that halo back. Mm-hmm. Was it something sent by God? Did Lucifer or Satan being a deceiver tell people, "Hey, I'm the angel, this halo is mine," and the people coming after it are actually demons?
Yeah, and I think that it also leads into our second big takeaway, and that's that we know that Adriel had help. And all along we would think that it was the Cardinal, and it actually turned out to be Father Vincent. I think this was a huge reveal and a huge twist that I honestly didn't see coming.
See, I had suspected it, but I had no reason to suspect it. I just thought if it was the Cardinal, it was a little too on the nose. But I thought, well, the other person in charge, it could be Vincent. But Christopher, you had a really good insight about his conversation with Shotgun Mary in the car. And how, I remember what you said.
Yeah, so there was a time where Vincent was talking with Shotgun, and he had said that all his life he had tried to do everything right, but there was just something in him that was bad. And then finally, when one of the warrior nuns had seen him and looked at him, he said it wasn't, an influencing demon. It wasn't a wraith. It was just me. And at that, it kind of tipped you off to say, okay, this guy's saying he's not being influenced by anything. There's something dark in him. And that leads exactly to what you said, Jay.
And I mean, all of the girls felt betrayed by him too, because especially Shotgun Mary, because she was telling him all the information that she found out about Shannon and how she died and everything, and the whole time he knew that he killed her.
I was just gonna say, we kind of forget that there was a little murder mystery. We forget it was kind of a whodunit as to far, and we had assumed the whole time that the Cardinal was the killer. But that's a great thing about a show that has so many different things going on at once. We kind of said, okay, Cardinal's the killer, and then boom, at the end, it's like, nope, it never was,
Yeah, I also think that one of the reasons why it kind of caught me off guard was the simple fact is that the Cardinal wasn't doing things the way you would expect. He was going about things in a kind of underhanded way. So it really led you to believe that he was doing something nefarious. So I really think that that's where, for me personally, the turn was just so huge and revealing, because of the fact that all the evidence in my eyes really did point to the Cardinal. But as you said, the foreshadowing from that conversation with Shotgun Mary was definitely a big clue.
Speaking of foreshadowing, we get to takeaway number 3, which I think has been foreshadowed the whole season, is that Jillian, why do I always want to call her Julia?
Michael's mom.
Jillian, Michael's mother, loses him. And the thing is, so basically the whole time Michael has been talking about these people that are talking to him. And he's been telling her, oh, Mom, he's coming, the gate under the Vatican, all these different things. And then finally, while Ava is under the Vatican with Adriel, the machine that Jillian has been working on starts reacting. And Michael, her son, is like, it's time to go. Mom, come with me. Don't come with me. I gotta go. And he runs right through it and swoop, 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 the portal closes.
Yeah.
So we gotta wonder, one, who is he talking to? Is he talking to God and the angels? He must be, right? Also, why did he need to go over there? Was it the divinium in him, this otherworldly metal that was pulling him to this other dimension? Mm-hmm. So many questions about Michael's relationship with these other beings. At one point, his mom even asked him, who was talking to you, the lady who just came in, meaning Ava, or is it the one who is drawing you pictures and sending them to you? Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, it's the one who's drawing pictures.
Yeah, and I also think just on that pictures point is that we would see the room that Michael was basically putting all his artwork up in, and it was essentially the same portal creation that his mother was creating. And it's like he had not been to that room until his mother took him there just before the portal opened. So how was it that he knew specifically everything that was in that entire place?
Yeah, even in the pictures that he drew himself inside the portal.
Yeah, I think I think the way that it shakes out for me, there's only one person it could be. Who do we know who is able to have knowledge of other people without them knowing? It's Satan. Even knowing that Ava, her name and all these things about her, he's been orchestrating things. He was able to communicate with Father Vincent somehow from still physically being trapped inside of the tomb, but still able to pull all these strings in different places. I think he's communicating to Michael because Michael is special. Remember, Jillian experimented on herself with cutting-edge technologies in order to be able to have a special child, and that special child
and with divinium
disease, and the divinium cured it. So I think we may be dealing with a Satan spawn type scenario where Adriel is trying to reincarnate himself. At the end, when Ava ultimately defeats him, I think he's using Michael as a backup plan. I think it's probably Adriel who is influencing, just like he did with Father Vincent, to eventually take over his body, a divinium-infused human body that would be able to stay on the earth.
We know that there is a powerful angel in the Bible by the name of Michael. So I wonder what the connection to that will be in season 2.
That's a great point.
I agree. I think there's someone orchestrating things on the other side, and it's not Adriel.
Yeah.
I think it could be God and the angels. Because think about it, right? If the halo belongs to the angels, right, and Satan stole it, then wouldn't they be working to get it back?
Yeah.
And if all of the portals, maybe the portals that have been opened are only the portals that go to hell, right? So Adriel's stuck there. He can't do anything. But why wouldn't it be that the angels would kind of be orchestrating a situation where Michael is their anchor, Michael is their way of getting back and forth in order to get the Halo back?
Well, see, I guess that would be the main issue, is that God would have no issue getting back and forth. They've never limited God in this show, so there's no reason to think that he would have a limitation that wouldn't allow him to interact with Earth.
I also think that it's big that the entire time this story is being told about these bones that we now know weren't actually there because Adriel was still alive, that to me that's going to be a big thing in season 2. I think that when any show harps on something repeatedly, it's something that we really have to pay attention to. And the fact that there were no bones in this tomb with Adriel, I think that there's going to be a set of bones that are going to be important for defeating him in season 2.
Yeah, I think so too. There's been so much lore that they've gotten wrong. It would make sense that what they expected the bones to be was wrong, but the bones are still important.
One thing I think that's really interesting and is a trope kind of a good show is that we were wrong about almost everything. Or you know, as far as who the actual big bad was, many people thought it was Arctech. Many people thought it was the Cardinal. It was neither of those. You know, we didn't really have an idea of who killed Shannon, right? We ended up, for the most part, wrong about that. Even when it comes to Adriel's true identity, even that was shrouded in mystery until the very end. We didn't even need to see the big battle between Ava and Adriel, even though I was ready for it. I was excited. But you know, I think they really did.
Speaking of the big final battle, just to kind of completely go into left field a little bit, Shotgun Mary literally going to her death is going to be epic. I really want to see this.
Let's talk favorite characters. So one favorite character from the show.
I liked Beatrice. At the end, I liked Beatrice.
Oh, Bee was a beast.
Yeah, she had some really cool fighting scenes, and she has a really strong. She's like one of those gentle, really strong people. You know, like she's not gonna fight you right in the face, but if you push her, like she'll go there.
Yo, she went straight chain mask and took out everybody. So yeah, 100% agree on that.
Yeah,
Cool.
you know, actually, my Shotgun Mary, don't get me wrong, was one of my favorite. My favorite was actually Mother Superior, because I feel like she's low key the best fighter in the entire show. The ability she showed in the Crimson fight scene where she was fighting Crimson,
good.
she gave her weapon. So I don't think we've really tapped into what she can really do, and I think she's going to come back in a big way season 2 during that fight with Adriel. And the fact that she was almost a warrior nun. She got rejected for whatever reason.
She was given the opportunity and given the push by her fellow sister warriors. So I do think that she's going to have a huge role to play in season 2. For me, and actually it was really more of comic relief than like anything else, but Camilla, when she came through and started shooting up the place with the machine gun, I was rolling. It was just hilarious to me. So just for comic relief purposes, because like there was a lot of intense scenes throughout this entire show. So for just her to come in with just kind of these little one-liners, it was funny for me.
Yeah, she said, I hope I heard God's message, right? And she was like, no, that was funny.
And I mean, obviously, Ava, you know, her transformation from the beginning and running away to standing and fighting with her warrior sisters. So I think that it was a good story turn leading into season 2. You know, her going from the scared little girl that would always run all the way to, you know, standing and being that Halo bearer. I think that was a good turn. But obviously the one you would expect. So yeah.
I guess I have one more question for you guys, which is, I mean, we know we got a big battle scene coming. So assuming that somebody's going to pay the ultimate price to save the world, who do you guys think it's going to be?
Well, okay, so Lilith died, right? But she came back. So are you saying someone who's going to die and come back as superpower? Or you mean legit die?
No, like they're done.
I think it's going to be someone that is not as much of a fan favorite, maybe. People love Shotgun Mary. People love Beatrice, and obviously Ava's not going to die. So I think it could be Camilla. I would also maybe put Mother Superior out there.
I kind of agree. I think Mother Superior is going to die, but I think that she's going to sacrifice herself. But I also think that kind of like what you said, Chris, with the idea that we've kind of been misled throughout the entire show. Everything that we thought was one thing isn't. I think that somebody of significant importance is going to die. And sadly, I think that that's probably going to be Shotgun Mary.
Here's why I don't think so. And this is why I think, okay, so I don't think it'll be Mother Superior, because now with Father Vincent gone, the girls need someone to guide them. They
That
need
they
a
can
guidance
trust.
figure. Shotgun Mary, I think, is too much of a fan favorite. Camilla, like you said, Jay, is an essential comedic relief. That leaves one person who kind of can't continue to exist, and that is Lilith. I think Lilith has the kind of demonic forces that could counter Adriel's, and with the help of the warrior nun, I think they could definitely do some real damage to Adriel using his own power against him. But I think ultimately her wound is going to be what ultimately does her in, and what Adriel will be able to. Even he said when the battle began, he's like, "What are you?" Like, he doesn't really understand, but once he understands it, she's kind of spawned from his realm. I think he's going to use that to his advantage.
Adriel does not know, and literally, like you said, asked her, "What are you?" That leads me to wonder exactly what's going to be her role in season 2.
Yeah, I think there's too
That's
much
fair.
mystery surrounding her for her to die so soon.
Great conversation. That's going to do it for our 3 biggest takeaways from the season finale of Warrior Nun Season 1. Let us know what you think down in the comments about everything we discussed, including predictions. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell. Now more than ever, guys, we got a whole bunch of content hitting you in the fall. New shows on Ledger, new shows on WeSibs. So it's stuff you really don't want to miss. So be sure to subscribe to both channels. Links will be down below, and click the bell so you don't miss a single episode. Also, be sure to like the video if you like the video, and share it with your friends, guys, as we continue to grow the community going into the fall. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks again to Jay from the La Quinte Ledger for joining us, and we will see you in the next one.